get into the news then.
Interesting stuff going on. We
So
had
much.
Tucker Carlson claiming that the Department of Justice will charge him for violating foreign agent law. The CIA apparently read his texts on the Iran war. So he basically put out this video on his podcast or whatever, talking about how like he's figuring that he's about to get charged. I guess he's getting some messages from people targeting him because of his views about the whole conflict. And then there was a whole meme about that, but we'll talk about that, I guess, in a little bit. So yeah, he's basically being potentially going to get accused of being an agent or like talking to Iranian officials and stuff like that before the war was happening. It's a whole thing that's going on right now. Next thing is that there's an island-wide blackout in Cuba as it struggles with this deepening energy crisis. So I haven't been following this super closely, but from what I understand, when Trump took Venezuela supplies a lot of Cuba's oil, and they cut off Cuba from that oil. And so Cuba has a massive energy crisis right now. And now they're like kind of running out of reserves or whatever. And there's a nationwide blackout that they've been dealing with for like the past couple of weeks.
Wow.
And so now the leader of Cuba, who I think was supposed to not be collaborating with the United States, has come out and said, all right, yeah, we've actually been having some talks. And so that whole situation has just been wild. Trump also has been basically saying that he's going to take Cuba. So let me go ahead and play this clip real quick.
When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation. When will the United States?
So I don't know exactly what his plans are, but it seems that he's potentially going to be making a move on Cuba soon. Crazy times, crazy times. Next thing this morning, we got some news that Mastercard is going to buy a stablecoin infrastructure firm, bank, for up to $1.8 billion. So this company is processing more than $30 billion a year in stablecoin payments. They count Visa, Citigroup, and Coinbase Global among its investors as well.
Crazy. There's so many bullish things going on in the background, but if the price isn't moving, retail doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We're just seeing all of the infrastructure completely get swallowed by traditional finance right now. So
that's so sad.
Yeah, that's what's happening, man. Another thing that I guess I just personally missed, which was that the Treasury just put out a report to Congress about innovative technologies to counter illicit finance involving digital assets. And this is basically about the implementation of the Genius Act. So the Treasury has gone ahead and said, hey, these are the things that you should be doing and that we're going to be doing to just basically mitigate any threats and vulnerabilities that come from the Genius Act and stablecoins and crypto.
Yeah. Charles was just on the show that you've been on before. I can't remember his name now. But
David Gotch.
Yes, David. Yes.
Okay,
and
cool.
He was doubling down on the stuff that he said on our show. And it was also really cool watching them talk about something that happened on our show.
Heck yeah.
Or like was spawned from our show. I think he was referring to the follow-up thing that he did, but he did it because of our clip.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
Crazy.
I definitely recommend going to watch that. I think I'm sure it's been clipped where something like Charles is calling it his legacy, like what all the things he's trying to build and how he talks about the Clarity Act and how in its current form, it's kind of the antithesis of what a lot of people were in crypto for to begin with.
So fascinating, man. Yep. So Cedar, the counterterrorism guy, resigned. Yeah, we talked about that at the very beginning. So that's another piece, guys, is the counterterrorism head resigned today, citing basically not supporting the war and also the actions of people and so on. Another thing that happened was Trump just today basically signed 2 executive orders to help American citizens achieve the dream of home ownership. Did you want to play that video, Ben, or you want to?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Continuing my administration's efforts to help more of our citizens achieve the dream of home ownership. It's called the American Dream. Thanks to our purchase of $200 billion in mortgage bonds, mortgage rates recently reached the lowest level in 5 years. This dramatically reduces monthly payments for new home buyers. The annual cost of the typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 since I took office. I'm very proud of that. I also signed an executive order to stop Wall Street and large
Wait, can you pause it for a sec?
firms from buying up.
So you said the cost of a mortgage has gone down. Is that just because the price of houses have gone down, or what does he mean by that?
No, I mean, the thing that I'm also trying to figure out is like, what he's saying is just simply mathematically not necessarily showing up on the data.
Okay.
Like, for instance, I'm just looking at the 30-year and the 15-year mortgage rates, and
Got it.
like they're not at 5-year lows, but I don't know what metrics that he might be using. I don't know.
Got it. Sorry for interrupting. Go
No
ahead.
problem.
All the single family homes in the scheme to turn them into rentals and make lots of money in doing it. We want America to be a nation of owners, not renters. Today, I'm taking action to help reduce rates even more and make it much easier to build new homes in America. The first executive order is about bringing more community banks back into the mortgage business. 2 decades ago, over 5,000 community banks were offering mortgages. Today, that number has been slashed by more than 50%, largely because of burdensome, unnecessary regulations that radical liberals imposed on community lenders for the benefit of their donors on Wall Street and, frankly, for the benefit of themselves. The result was less competition and higher mortgage rates for hardworking Americans like you. That is why, under my order, we will eliminate the thicket of unnecessary rules and restrictions that crippled community banks. They've been hurt so badly. We're bringing them back. When more local banks start offering mortgages again, fees will go down, costs will fall, and home buyers will be able to get a mortgage under the more affordable terms that we're insisting on. The second executive order I'm signing today will help lower construction costs for building new homes so that home builders can offer Americans more affordable options. I'm going to sign them right now.
Yeah, Cedar says this looks and sounds like AI. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe it's just how it was. Maybe it's just how it's filmed, and maybe it's the effect they have on like the color grading.
Bro, this is what I'm saying too. Like, if you, for instance, with the BB stuff, like just film it with an iPhone, like make it look real.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So,
But
all of his
AI can
videos
do
are
that
like
too.
It could, but I'm just saying, at least try. Like, if you're trying to show that he's alive, bro, like film it on an iPhone.
His mouth. Maybe it's just because we were watching at a faster speed, but it didn't seem right.
I mean, all of these videos where he's in the Oval Office like that, they've all. I mean, people have pointed that out when he first got in office. They felt that way too.
How would they get that sound that clear?
I mean,
No
you can have a
auto
mic.
Okay?
But ASMR, that's like right.
Like you had in the past. As part of the Green New Scam, the Biden administration and many state and local governments added endless, ridiculous regulations that raise construction costs very, very substantially. With my order today, we will slash many of these pointless regulations that do nothing for safety and add lots of costs. Is really unfair to the home buyers.
The fact that they haven't put in like
for this disaster
watermark laws, they've got to be using it.
That's an interesting thought too.
That's the only way where you wouldn't have laws in place.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know, man.
It was the speed. Also, he's reading a script. Yeah, so we could be way off. It could be real. Just doesn't look and feel like it. But the speed definitely does play a role.
Yeah, I put it at 1.25.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, people have been talking about that because I think there was like I think it was when they did it was something that happened and he had to come on and do like an emergency thing, and people were like, "This doesn't look real. Like, what's he doing?" And I'm like, bro, I don't know. Ever since 2020, I was worried about that.
Sharp says, "Are you guys even real?" I don't know.
Good question, man.
Yeah, totally fair. I think depends on your definition of real.
Yeah, man. So those are some of the main news pieces that I had for today. Other than that, there was some stuff that we could react to.
Let's do it up.
And the most fascinating story that's happened over the past weekend, I guess, was this guy who like cured his dog of cancer with ChatGPT or something.
I saw that.
So let's hear a little bit of the story real quick.
Professor Paul Torderson from the University of New South Wales join us now. G'day to you, gents. Hello to the beautiful
Hi,
Rose here, looking fit and healthy. Paul, incredible story this. You know, vets told you that Rose had just months to live, but you refused to give up and you turned to a chatbot instead.
Rose is my best mate, and she's been with me through really tough times, through a breakup, through hard business deals, walks in the forest. And when she was handed the sentence, I felt I had to do my part for her as well. Yeah.
So what did you do? Walk us through it.
Well, we took her tumor, we sequenced the DNA, we converted it from like tissue to data, and then we used that to sort of search for the problem in her DNA, and then develop a cure based off that.
And ChatGPT found that?
ChatGPT assisted throughout the entire process.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Have you got a tech background?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
That's just amazing. Pal, the RNA Institute is the one that created the vaccine for Rose based on Paul's AI code. Were you skeptical at first when you heard about this?
Surely.
I was a bit, probably mainly just I thought this might take too long. And I guess one of the things we learned from this process too, the technology, even though we've been working with similar mRNA for years, I just didn't think we could do this quickly, and it would be in time to really help Rosie. So it's just been an amazing project for us to be involved in.
So how quickly did you manage to turn it into a vaccine and be able to give it to Rose?
Yeah, so once we had the sequence that Paul designed, it was less than 2 months from that point till we handed it over to Paul, who took it to the vet to help her.
And Paul, how quick?
So fascinating story there.
Great PR for ChatGPT.
Oh man,
I was waiting to see, do they say a brand name? That's where I become skeptical.
So I thought this was hilarious because this meme has been going around forever of like, we need more GPUs to cure cancer, right? Right? Usually, right, is what it keeps going. And it's like, right? But now it's like, actually, yeah. It is actually being used to cure cancer.
Amazing if real. That's awesome. If real.
Yeah, interesting, constant skeptical. I mean, it seems real.
It'd be really easy to fake, though.
How did you fake curing the dog's cancer?
Or saying that you can just make up images, right?
Of the dog's leg being healed, you mean?
Yeah, I could totally do that.
I mean, yeah, that's for sure. But I think the point is that the dog's alive and healthy.
That's amazing. It's awesome. I'm just saying, like, with the stakes this high, like, that's fantastic PR. For someone with maybe the worst PR on the planet, and if they don't continue to get money, things get really bad.
I mean, no doubt.
I would have been less skeptical if it wasn't ChatGPT, to be honest.
Fair. And also just like the timing is literally right when they're having the worst PR moment.
That's my whole thing, right? And I'm sure the dog I'm sure it's real. I'm really happy the dog is healthy. That's amazing. But like, think of the stakes here.
No doubt, man. I can't deny you there. The next piece that I had that I want to get your reaction to, Ben, is this piece about this AI video about how the world would change from young people. Let's hear them talk about.
Yeah, this was crazy.
Wait, so you're telling me in the future, people just stare at a little box all day, inside and outside?
And in the future, you don't even own the music, you just pay every month to borrow it? Like, if you stop paying, the music just disappears?
Wait, so before people eat, they take a picture of the food and show strangers? And the strangers like and comment on it? So in the future, everyone has their own phone and they use it to type messages instead of call? And if someone calls you without typing it first, it's considered rude? So you're telling me in the future, people just post their diary for everyone to see?
Some people get paid for it.
For their diary? And in the future, a little box just tells you where to go, turn by turn, and people still get lost?
If you want food from a restaurant, you just tap the box and a stranger brings it to your door and you pay extra for that?
And then you rate the stranger? Our moms always say don't talk to strangers. But in the future, everyone just talks to strangers all day on the little box and shows them their house and their kids? So in the future, nobody ever just sits with the quiet? Like ever? That sounds really exhausting. In the future, everyone's connected to everything, and people are still lonely? Okay, but do we at least still stay outside until the streetlights come on?
Definitely hits you in the feels for some AI stuff.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
man.
yeah, like there's a lot of truth to a lot of that, but you could do that. Like, let's say you go back another 40 years, they could do that about where those guys were. Do you know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's like, yeah, I think we always villainize tech, but there's a lot of truth to it, right? Where I think that we've definitely spilled over too far the other way, where the people who make the tech and the tech itself has too much of a stranglehold over all of us. Heather, I get that time. That's very good. What's up?
Yeah, man. No, I hear it. Um, yeah. I mean, I feel like there was a sweet spot. There was like this. I think we played it on here actually. There was like a clip of like the early 2000s or like the late 90s, and it was just like a perfect sweet spot where it's like you didn't have the cell phone, but you still had the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like you could like do stuff and like low key, I guess, take advantage of having free information, but like it wasn't just like in your phone all day. But
Yeah, we're in
here
it
we
too
are.
deep. But I think that I'm hopeful that things will get better. People will be at least more social media literate, which hopefully then leads to the reduction in consumption a little bit, more in real life experiences, discussions, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I continue to think that like books now have become even more valuable in a way. Like you can now you can know which books to read faster, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at that.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. Because if you find someone that you respect, then it creates the web, right? Because if you respect what they know and what got them to where they are, chances are the books played a big role in it, right? So then you can follow that path of the books that are mentioned in the books they recommend too.
Yep. Yep. Excuse me. Next piece was so Mark Andreessen's been going viral. He made a statement on David Sinra's podcast. Mark Andreessen is the co-founder of A16Z, one of the most prolific venture capital firms. And he did a podcast with David Sinra, who's the founder of a podcast called Founders, where he just like goes through the stories of all these different founders. And he's kind of started this new branch where I guess he's just kind of doing interviews with people. And do you think it's okay to play this?
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay. So here's a clip of something that Mark Andreessen said on the podcast that's been going super mega viral.
You don't have any levels of introspection.
Yes, zero, as little as possible.
Why?
Move forward, go. Yeah, I don't know. I found people who dwell in the past get stuck in the past. It's a real problem, and it's a problem at work and it's a problem at home.
So I've read obviously 400, and I think now 10 biographies of history-based entrepreneurs.
Yep.
And that was one of the most surprising things. Like, what's the most surprising thing that you've learned from this? So like, oh, they have little or zero introspection.
Yep.
Like Sam Walton didn't wake up thinking about his internal self. He just woke up. It's like, I like building Walmart. I'm going to keep building Walmart. I'm going to make more Walmarts, and just kept doing it over and over again.
And you probably know, if you go back like 400 years ago, it never would have occurred to anybody to be introspective. Like it's the whole idea of, I mean, just all of the modern conceptions around introspection and therapy and all the things that kind of result from that are, kind of a manufactured in the 1910s, 1920s.
Say more about that.
Great men of history didn't sit around doing this stuff at any prior point, right? It's all a new construct. It was so first Western civilization had to kind of invent the concept of the individual, right? Which was like a new concept, several hundred years ago. And then, for a long time, it was, all right, the individual runs, right? And like does all these things and builds things and, builds empires and builds companies and builds technology, does all these things. And then, kind of this kind of guilt-based whammy, kind of showed up. From Europe, a lot of it from Vienna, 1910s, 1920s, Freud, and all that entire movement, and kind of turned all that inward and basically said, okay, now we need to basically second guess the individual. We need to criticize the individual. The individual needs to self-criticize, right? The individual needs to feel guilt, needs to look backwards, needs to dwell on the past. It never resonated with me.
Thoughts, Keith?
So, I mean, I thought it was interesting. I found it inspiring personally.
Really?
Yeah, because I think, I mean, there's always a medium, right? There's always a balance to stuff.
Mhm.
I guess, he's making an extreme take to try to take away that balance. But I know that I probably am on the wrong side of that balance in my eyes. Where
Too much the other way?
Yeah, I do spend too much time on that.
It is definitely a balancing act, but Knight has a pretty good point. He said, when nobody can tell you no, there's no need to... I just lost it from another one. Where is it? When no one can tell you no, there's no need for introspection. And he's at that point now. But like, I don't think he was always like that. And it seems like he had that philosophy then too, to a degree. And in the world of technology, especially, that would serve you well, probably, because you're going to be told you're no, or you're dumb, or you're wrong all the time. And so I would imagine that probably pretty tightly correlates to the biggest tech builders, because they were able to push through that. Because I think that true introspection is almost impossible, because it's always laden with other people's opinions, right? Because they come in and they influence how you're thinking and what you're thinking about. But I also think that's also why, although he says he's not introspective, he clearly examines how things operate all the time. And there's no way that during that analysis that anecdotes from himself don't come into that. So I feel like he's probably doing similar things to what introspection creates through analyzing the outside world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure. But that's a very interesting way of thinking about it. And a lot of people, or there was someone that was like, very interesting thing to say for someone who spends like 4 days a week on podcasts talking about their life.
Yeah, that's good. Very true. Right? That's more or less what I was trying to say. That's way better way to say it.
And I mean, to be fair, like that's what he's doing now. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
because people care now.
Yeah, exactly. So when he was in the thick of it, he wasn't on podcasts, bro.
I think we have over-indexed too far the other way, though, where people want you to analyze your feelings about your feelings about your feelings. Right?
Right.
And again, like, I'm acknowledging my hypocritical stance on that, because I always say to try to ask the 7 layers of why, but you also have to have the distinction of is this constructive or is this detrimental to my progress too? And what I'm trying to get to. And much like you said, the balancing act, I think, is the best way to say it, because I've had a lot of value in my life, like from introspection, I would say. And maybe he doesn't need that. Maybe he came out of the womb perfectly ready to go for what he wants to do. But I think some introspection, I would say, is probably a plus. But I wouldn't say it is a plus if it's like being forced upon you. I tried to go to therapy and I did not have a good experience with therapy, because I just didn't find it helpful whatsoever. I found books and my own stuff and then action way more beneficial than structured therapy.
Interesting.
And I'm sure there are types of therapy, and maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it was me why it didn't work. But it just seemed like a scam when I was there. It could have just been the people that I spoke to, but I did try a few different people, and all of them I got the same sort of intention. Also, because think about the incentive structure, right?
Yeah. No, the incentive structure is terrible.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's like doctor treatment versus cure, right? It's like, do you want to pay to get the medicine that keeps you treated, right? Or do you want the thing that's going to cure you?
Yes.
And their job isn't to cure you. Their job is to like treat you.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, so many of these mental health problems that people identify themselves at, like, they were invented pretty recently. And like people will self-identify, especially all over TikTok stuff. They're like, oh, I am this person who has this mental health condition, right? And again, we talked briefly before about the advent of a lot of the mental health medications, and then also the diagnoses protocol for these mental health things. Very gray, a lot of these things. But the confirmation bias, all these cognitive biases that we've talked about, play into this too, because once you make that I am statement, that statement of belief, you're going to look for things that confirm that opinion.
Fair. And by the way, I am a proponent of therapy. I think it is something that probably more people should do than that do. And I think the major thing that people might mess up on with it is this idea of like, well, first off, like, yeah, it takes like the hardest thing about therapy is like finding someone that would actually be helpful to you.
I think therapy can. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I mean that's the actual process. It's not. That's the most important piece of the process is finding someone. But what were you saying? Sorry.
No, I cut you off. That's my bad. So I agree with you completely. I think it can be positive. I just think that the stakes are so high if it's not. right? And how many people are actually good at what they do? Look around at any field. How many
Right.
people are actually good at what they do? Maybe the top 10%, maybe,
Exactly. Yeah.
maybe, right? And then how popular did it become to be a therapist? Like BetterHelp. That platform is bullshit. I tried to use that too. So
Yeah.
I tried BetterHelp. I tried multiple in-person therapists. And I guess like maybe none of them would have ever worked for me, but it just very much seemed like it was just, they were going through the motions, which I kind of thought was the antithesis of what this was supposed to be.
Mhm.
Because if I'm a human being with completely unique sets of experiences, like how could you have a protocol for this? So there are definitely ways and different types of therapy that I think could be awesome. So yeah, I just think a lot of people will also do this where they'll be like, okay, they'll be a horrible person and they'll be like, but I'm going to therapy. I'm working on myself. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like that shit gets me too.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, this is also true too. Yeah, that's a very good point. A good therapist will also recognize when they're not a good fit for a given patient, and they would express that. There are definitely amazing therapists out there, but when you're trusting someone with how your view of reality is governed, like that's a pretty big deal, in my opinion. So I think that I think there should be but I guess even then, like, how do you decide what a good versus a bad one is?
Yeah, I was gonna say too. I'm like, you kind of also have to be in a pretty good state to be able to do that. Like you have to. I don't know if you have to, but it's probably helpful to you to go into a situation where if you're looking for a therapist, where you are very cognizant of, like, for instance, everything that we just went over today, of like all the different ways that people might try to manipulate you.
True.
And like all these different things about like your own styles of communication, and you'd have to be able to understand and recognize whether that person would also be a fit for you or not, because they might not be the best at seeing that for themselves, or even the incentive structures that they want a client. So yeah, there's a lot of things about that um, make it difficult. I don't think everyone, just like with everything, it's like everybody's got to have their own way of going through
That's
things
it.
like that.
Totally. Yeah, I think there's a million approaches to your desired outcome, and then it's about feeling what's right for you. And if you deem that it's working great for you, that's awesome. And if it's not, try a different one, try a different method. There's so many different methods too.
I mean, yeah. So like, I've seen there's like, I mean, like, depends on what you're trying to do with your life. Like, there's, because the thing is that you are dealing with the fact that you have a psychological state. So if you're someone who, for instance, wants to be a high achieving individual, your psychology is always going to be working for you or against you. The question is do you have people around you that can help you with that without you having to go and pay them for it, or in general, if they are a specific psychologist or not, right? There's people who are executive coaches. There's people that are spiritual shamans, and like all of these different ways that you could go about trying to solve that
Totally.
problem, where the incentives also might be a little bit different too.
Mhm.
So anyways.
No, completely. I think it's worth exploring these and also knowing yourself to a point, and that takes some effort as well. So maybe introspection precedes that, right? Unless you talk to Mark. But one thing I also did say was, it's funny that he says that because he uses AI as his therapist. He said that in some tweets
wow.
back. He's like, my therapist, I think he said Claude, I can't recall correctly. But then he also said that he used it, and I think this could be a potentially good practice, where what he'll do is he'll state his opinions and then ask for it to, what's the opposite of a straw man? Is it a steel man argument?
Yeah.
He'll ask for it to steel man the argument to see the other side. I think that could be really valuable if we're trusting the AI source, of course. But I also think that's a very good practice on social media. You should go find what you think is the farthest away from you, and then find at least one thing that you agree with them on. Our grandparents had best friends, cousins, uncles, because people fear judgment. They rather pay. It is for like this person talking about the grandparents. Like one thing I would say about my grandparents is that one thing I did notice when I spent some time with them a few weeks ago was how they do have so many friends. And then I thought about like things that have happened, and they told me stories where I'm like, oh, if that happened today, like that friendship probably would have been over.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
So they were telling me about someone, and then they'd bring up stories, and I'm like, that probably would have ended a friendship in most today's circles, because there's so many more accesses to different people.
Right.
I'm not saying that's like better or worse, but it seems like because you were kind of stuck with who was around you for the most part, people naturally were a little more forgiving and understanding.
Facts.
And so again, I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. It was just something that I observed.
Yeah. Well, so there's this whole thing that was going on. This was something we could have brought up. It was like people going to relationship advice and stuff like that on Reddit / using these ChatGPT things and whatnot as their therapist, the problem was that on Reddit, God, there was like this graph that showed like what they were likely to recommend. And in most cases, it was to walk away. It was like, and more of the case on Reddit, when people are asking for advice on the relationship, okay, here it is. More and more of the time, it's told people to walk away over time. So this is the 15 years of Reddit relationship advice. And so in relationship is this red line, and you can see that
Fascinating.
over time it's continued to go up. And that goes back to 2010. So it's
That's
like, yeah.
wild. That's but that's cause and effect thing too that would be difficult to determine. Like, is that
For
because
sure.
people are way more radicalized now? Like, that's a super fascinating data point though.
Yes, for sure. It'd be impossible to know exactly why that might be, but it's there. And the problem that people were saying is that when you go to ChatGPT is essentially being trained on that information. Like, what are
Yes.
people saying on Reddit type of a thing.
Yeah, that's true. The person saying, yeah, just like you said, cognition is saying because the models were trained on Reddit.
Yep.
That's actually so scary to think about.
So, yeah, we're in this weird reflexive loop thing too here, where it's like, is the AI is getting that from us, but we're moving in that direction anyways, and then so it's going to exacerbate that potentially and make it even worse, you know? But I don't know.
We should all try to fight that to a degree, but easier said than done, no doubt.
So there was one other piece about that story with Mark Andreessen that I forgot, which was this clip started circulating around Steve Jobs and what he was saying. So let's play that real quick.
I'm going to ask you to be introspective for a moment. Where do you fit in the American family of thinkers and inventors?
You know, I don't really think that way.
Try it.
Well, yeah, I'm a private person, and I think if you do something and it turns out pretty good, then you should go do something else wonderful and not dwell on it for too long. Just figure out what's next.
For now, in a tough business and in a very tough town, this is what's next. That is, until the next thing comes along.
I'm going to ask.
That was really funny that the reporter was like, try it, man. Try it.
That has to be, I don't think anyone, I'm speaking out of turn here, I guess, but I'm hard pressed to believe that someone just innately is like that. I feel like that's a deliberate decision to be like that.
I don't know. I feel like people are wired different, man.
Yeah.
I think I think that people like that are just wired different. Because I think that's why you get to be that crazy.
Successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. It's definitely fair. But I don't know. They say that, but if you follow their actions enough, it's like you couldn't have come to this without some introspection.
Well, let's be clear. Dude, like, was in India in his young days and like did a trip where he was like barefoot and like he did that thing. You know
He
what I mean?
the book he recommends more than anything else is the autobiography of a yogi.
Right.
So it's like, what?
So to be fair, maybe, you know, he did this India thing, this trip.
And then got to that place.
And that's where he got to.
Got it. Yeah, it's fascinating. I just love studying how people who did incredible things, like how they think. Right. That's why I think that like Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, they post a lot on Twitter. They're pretty accessible. And they're some of the most powerful people on the planet that I don't think people realize like how big and powerful they are.
It's crazy, man. Especially with the whole AI situation.
Yeah, and how close they are to that.
Yeah. Like I was reading their state of the year report or whatever on AI investing and stuff. And it was like, yeah, like 80% of the companies in AI, like we own them basically. I was like, dang.
Yeah. Because we had them as a client for a little while. So it was interesting to see how they operate and how they function. But yeah, they definitely have a lot of access to a lot of things.
Let me try to find that because it was a crazy statement, bro. It was like, let me see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, like they literally are at the very top of the game. So here it is real quick. Their state of the market review. And So they invest at all stages. Okay, approximately 2/3 of private AI revenue is generated by A16Z-backed companies. So it was private AI.
How much? What's the number? It's small for me.
2/3.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So
technically
that's
private,
absurd.
but yeah, it's insane. So, anyways, I definitely recommend going through that one when you get a second.
Yeah. Some good perspectives here. So Hard Reset said, Wired different, but in a good way. Didn't he steal a bunch of stuff? That's all going to come down to perspective. And yeah, I wasn't there, so I have no idea on any of it. But even if like, if you achieve crazy levels of success, like someone's going to be angry about it regardless, right? And then they're going to have some way in which you wronged them. And then in the moment, would they have even reacted like that? Like oftentimes no, but because who you became or what you achieved is so much bigger, so too is the problem when they look back on it. There's a lot of that. That's why oftentimes like something will have happened with someone and they don't report it until the person becomes like famous. Right?
Yeah.
Or an argument, they're like, oh, this guy was such an asshole. It's like, hey, well, you're not, why didn't you say that before? I'm sure they would say, oh, because it wasn't relevant before, but yeah, all things to consider.
Another piece here was, let me see how I want to move this one forward. So AI is getting weird again, this person said. An app called Rent a Human lets AI agents hire humans to do tasks for them in the real world, and it's gotten out of hand. Help me understand human feet for $1. Hold up a cardboard sign saying AI made this in public for $100. Over 600,000 humans have signed up for the site offering their services to AI agents. So I have no idea what this is about or like what's actually going on here, but I thought it was an interesting thing.
The scary thing about AI is that in an era where you want as much attention as possible, you can build, like, eventually software will become marketing. It already is. Right? Like things will be invented not for any utility other than the story of people talking about it.
Right. Crazy to think about that concept of Mark Zuckerberg and Meta buying Moltbook.
Yeah.
Like people were like, is that what's happening? Like, is it just to be able to be in control of the narrative? Like, did he buy this just to say that he bought it, basically?
Well, this whole thing is narrative driven. The whole AI expansion in general is, and we'll see how it impacts the labor market in the coming months, years, et cetera. But yeah, the whole thing is theater as well.
No doubt about it, man. Interesting. Here from Boris Johnson on the 13th, I guess it was 4 days ago, so like Friday or something. He said, I've long suspected Bitcoin is a giant Ponzi scheme, and now I'm hearing tales of woe that make me fear that I'm right. And I guess he got community noted ever since because Ponzi scheme issuers promise artificially high rates of return with little to no risk. Bitcoin has no issuer, and the value is purely determined by the free market. The code is totally public and opt-in. Nobody can force you to run any particular version. So he got community noted on that. But Michael Saylor commented, but Boris Johnson is the former prime minister of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, good context.
And so he came out and made the statement and, put out a whole article with the Daily Mail, and I guess it turned into a whole thing. But Michael Saylor commented, he said, Bitcoin is not a Ponzi scheme. Basically, I guess also just the community note, basically is what he's saying here.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, just thought that was interesting. There was another piece that happened regarding Bitcoin that we have to play. And there's this guy who's been blowing up on YouTube. He is a former CIA agent in the United States, which is already such a weird thing. We're at such a weird time in history where we have like these influencers who are former CIA agents that are on the podcasting circuit. It's just like, wait, what is going on? So this guy, his name is John K. I don't actually know how to pronounce his last name. Kiriakou.
This shit, because he's going so mega viral right now from being on a few main podcasts because he's incredibly clippable. And he has a lot of stories that make for very good content. But this scared the shit out of me, dude.
Yeah.
This scared the shit out of me because I watched this and I'll let you play and then I'll give context.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff here. Definitely a huge story. So lock in.
Hey, everybody. John Kiriakou here. Satoshi Nakamoto asked me to come clean about Bitcoin and about my role in the creation of Bitcoin. So, yes, I helped to create Bitcoin. Part of my job at the CIA was to make sure that smart contracts never came to Bitcoin layer 1. I'm not going to tell you who gave me that order, but I will tell you this. OpNet just blew it wide open, and there's not a damn thing anyone can do about it now. We had these protocols in place. We had assets embedded in Bitcoin Core. We spent 11 years making sure nobody could build DeFi natively on chain. No bridges, no side chains. That was our policy first. Then some guy named Danny he just did it anyway on layer 1 without asking any permission. My handler wept. Congratulations. Genuinely. You're probably going to be the world's first trillionaire. I did what I could do. What can I say?
Okay, so where should we start with this?
Well, so for us, right, we're like, what's going on here? Like, why is this true? And then Ben, you put it together. So tell us.
So as soon as I saw this, I was like, he's reading some sort of script. So then my mind went to, okay, why would he be reading some sort of script like this? Because there's got to be some sort of financial incentive. And so then my mind went right to the most obvious place would be Cameo. I went to Cameo, and he was from Cameo. It was even on his profile at the time. He's since done enough now where you can't see it anymore, but it was on his Cameo as one of the recent videos. I want to say like 2 or 3 days ago. And that's absolutely terrifying.
And then what is Cameo, just in case people don't know too?
Great call. Thank you. Always do that. Cameo is this platform where celebrities or influential people can go and create an account, and then you can buy custom videos from that person. So whoever would benefit from this, it's actually like absurdly good marketing, very unethical, but very good marketing.
Incredible marketing.
Like so good, because also his clips have been seen billions of times, right? Mm-hmm. And he also, much like someone said, where they were like, oh, he has a lot of credibility because he went to jail for exposing U.S. war crimes. Like he was a whistleblower or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so now people are going to take that as gospel, man.
And now watching it back, it's absolutely hilarious.
Yes, once you know that context, because you know he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know the words he's saying.
Right. And so some guy who's like some company that's building DeFi on Bitcoin has paid him to do this, to promote their versions of Bitcoin DeFi.
Yes. So yeah, I'll show you his Cameo page right now. So because he's done so many, you can't see which one it is because he's cranking these out. They're only $189.
That's crazy. That's actually insane.
Yeah.
So real quick, everybody, this is Cameo. You can book him for $189. That's really cheap for a CIA officer, right?
He was also supposed to go on Sneako's podcast or stream today or tomorrow, and then they just canceled, and Sneako announced it on Twitter by saying he has to cancel because of legal reasons.
Oh, snap.
So I wonder if
something might catch up to him. Yeah, I mean, like, there has to also, like what, how does this even exist, honestly? Like, think about Cameo. So you could just pay someone to say anything? Like, that doesn't mean that you're not liable for lying about some shit, right?
I don't know, Keith. I have no idea.
Like, dang. I can't believe we haven't come to that being a big problem yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And what I hate about that shit is that people will listen to this guy, and then it's another bad person. It's another person with a horrible taste in their mouth towards crypto when they eventually get screwed.
True, man.
It sucks, dude.
Yeah.
It sucks so much ass because it's like, oh my God, like this stuff is all that people do. They're such short-sighted thinkers.
Yeah. Adaptive Thinker said, why the F would he need to do this? Like $200. But he said, but I guess $200 for a 30-second video. Why not?
Yeah.
I guess so. But even then, bro, like $200, like, bro, maybe if it was like $500.
But he's probably cranking these out, man.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. If he's doing a bunch in a
Yeah,
day.
that's
That's some pretty
crazy.
good coin to do
That's like
basically nothing.
like $5,000 a day doing that, which is like over $1 million a year.
Yeah, and for what? Just reading a script.
Yeah.
And I saw him arguing the other CIA guy with the curly hair, and it could have been clickbait, but they were like debating. He's like, I don't care about the U.S. Like, what have they done for me? Like, this is me
Yes.
fighting up for the people I care about. And so I'm sure if that is a true thing, I always assume everyone's full of shit. But for him, if that is his view on things, then I see why he would do this.
Why would he do this?
Because he's anarchy. Like, he basically saying the system is broken that you guys created. I'm just gonna me doing this is exposing that. Right?
Fair.
Again, I have no idea. Adaptive Thinker says I've worked a lot harder for $200. I think we all have.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true, man. Moving on, we had some drama in the Cardano community. I think, Ben, you might understand this a little bit better than me.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But there was some governance update that happened, a proposal on the chain. So I guess I'll give some context there too. So in the blockchain world, you have these autonomous organizations to some extent, or the protocol itself, right? The actual protocol that exists is open source. So anyone can kind of contribute to the protocol. And in fact, in some cases, you can submit to update the protocol. And so in this case, I don't think it was a protocol update, but rather a decentralized autonomous organization, which sometimes will have a treasury where you can actually basically when you create a token, there's a certain amount of tokens that are allocated towards the treasury of a DAO, for instance, and then this DAO can then distribute those resources as people submit proposals to the DAO and they get approved or denied. And in this case, there was a proposal that was submitted to this DAO, which is a part of the Cardano community. And then from there, I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, so, and I'm going to butcher specifics on it, but essentially, I believe it had to do with the night distribution. So we've talked about midnight before, but basically if you held certain tokens, you got given access to things. And so Liquid is a DeFi application within the Cardano ecosystem. So people would have had their ADA on the platform for the purpose of conducting DeFi activities. And so from my understanding, and please correct me in the comments, but I believe what it is that they said that the people who had their ADA with them would get their distribution of night, but then eventually, because of this, they just kept it all, is my understanding. And so, and I also feel like it gets worse than that. I believe even in their own terms of service, or whatever the appropriate terminology is for this specific use case, they basically said that wouldn't happen. And then the vote took place, and people that voted were clearly insiders from the optics of it, which obviously is a massive conflict of interest, which this created a ton of debate over the whole general thesis around Cardano, right? And the whole governance approach, and how a lot of people in the Cardano community are very frustrated by the seemingly centralization of decentralized governance.
Right.
Yeah, it might be worth talking. Never mind, it's super long. Never mind. But yeah, definitely a shit show. But what I will say is, like, this is definitely a very bad look for Liquid, pretty bad for Cardano. But I think the fact that people are still like here showed me that if things did go well, they'd probably rally behind it too. Not with Liquid, I'm saying with something in that ecosystem.
Right. So the other thing I didn't fully explain, I feel like, with a DAO, usually what happens is the amount of tokens that you have, right, for this DAO, for instance, if there's like the Liquid DAO token, whoever has the most tokens essentially gets the most votes. And so I think part of the problem that happened here, I don't actually understand, I don't know for sure, was that like too many of the people who were insiders, meaning they like created the token in the first place,
yes,
were essentially the ones that had all the tokens and could therefore make the vote.
Totally. Yes. I think you've nailed that. Asipa, let's clip this and have a title and thumbnail being the Cardano logo and the Liquid logo. And I'm sure we'll attract some Cardano people to clarify everything that we got wrong in that clip. So yeah. And then Kenny has a funny question here, or statement, sorry. I'm thinking about becoming a Bitcoin maxi. Honestly, it's harder and harder to blame you by the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's something that has been happening to me as well.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's sad, man, but hard to argue with you.
Yeah. So anyways, that's some of the drama there. as you can see, even Charles started to get involved with some of that because he felt like that was not right either.
Mm-hmm. But he also can't. He said this too. He's like, I can't just come in and change this whole thing because that defeats the entire purpose, right? This is kind of proof that's not like that.
Exactly, man. So moving forward, I thought this was something that was worth reacting to. We had this guy, Cameron Sorsby, said, we're launching a new high school for aspiring entrepreneurs. The promise is make $1 million by graduation or receive a full tuition refund. Yes, this will be the coolest high school in the world, and we're building the best team in the world to make it happen. We're looking for 2 to 3 exceptional coaches, da-da-da. You won't be giving lectures or assigning homework. You'll be grilling them on their P&L, driving them to the car wash they bought, critiquing their email funnels, pushing them to do things 99% of the world doesn't believe is possible. Job posting is live and DMs are open. And I think this is serious.
I think it is too.
So I had to clarify because otherwise it might sound like satire.
True. A very good point.
It kind of sounds like the Chase Hughes guy.
Yeah.
Has a big go.
Yeah. But I love this, dude. And I think that traditional academic institutions will continue to become less and less relevant, and things like this will emerge as more and more relevant. Even what I hope to build is something very similar. We talked about this last night, right? About how giving people, because like the system that the traditional education system was built for is like so gone. So you're going looking for success at the end of it, and it prepared you the wrong way for like almost everything.
Almost everything.
So yeah, I think there'll be a lot of things that emerge. Like I want to have a co-working space where it's got some sort of element like that, like an incubator type thing. So yeah.
Palantir CEO Alex Karp actually said something very much so along the lines of this. Let's hear what he had to say.
Huge vocational efforts change how we test aptitude. Like, so we have an accurate diagnostic of where you could be slotted. Be ruthless and like, you know, it's like in certain, find out new ways to test and do ruthless testing and slotting. And then also go around to universities and just, I mean, you know how when you want to smoke a cigarette, it's like this cigarette may be harmful. Maybe we should be putting that in universities. This university is harmful for your investor. You know, I'm libertarian. You want to go to university?
This student debt may be harmful to your future financial health.
And your personal life.
So I thought that was a really, really good one there.
Yeah, he's a fascinating dude. Obviously, he's involved with Palantir, so very controversial dude. But I watched that. He was objectively entertaining on there. I would love to talk to him because who knows how much of what he's saying is accurate. I would love to ask him a lot more questions that don't get asked because a lot of these guys are in bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Your camera got cut, by the way.
Oh no, you can't even see me.
No, it's just a dark screen.
Oh.
But yeah,
what a blessing.
It's that guy. We talked about this last night, Keith, where Silicon Valley and these tech guys, they have so much power and they have a serious messaging problem. Because I thought it's kind of crazy how you and I are entrepreneurs and builders, and even we are kind of like, well, I don't trust almost any of them. Like that's a messaging crisis for them. That if they don't resolve that quickly, I think that gets dark.
No, 100%, man. Definitely got to be something done to help these people communicate with people. Like,
man, I would love to have these guys on because it'd be like, and then people would be like, oh, like, how dare you platform them? It's like, okay, but if we don't talk to them and if they don't see the questions that you want to ask, like, how do you get your point across? Otherwise, you'd rather just like that. At that point, you're fully adopting a victim mentality because you're like, oh, I know they're screwing me, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Right. Exactly. Speaking of the AI and tech overlords, Sam Altman made a statement that was going pretty viral the other day. Let's hear it.
Fundamentally, and I think the business of every other model provider is going to look like selling tokens. You know, they may come from bigger or smaller models, which makes them more or less expensive. They may use more or less reasoning, which also makes them more or less expensive. They may be running all the time in the background trying to help you out. They may run only when you need them if you want to pay less. They may work super hard, you know, spend tens of millions, hundreds of millions, someday billions of dollars on a single problem that's really valuable. But we see a future where intelligence is a utility like electricity or water, and people buy it from us on a meter. and use it for whatever they want to use it for. The demand that we see for that seems like it's going to continue to just go like this. And if we don't have enough, we either can't sell it, or the price gets really high and it, kind of goes to rich people, or society makes a bunch of sort of central planning decisions that I think almost always go badly about, we're going to use our limited capacity supply for this and not that. So the best thing to me throughout all the history of capitalism, innovation, whatever you want, is to just flood the market.
Yeah.
Fundamentally.
So this guy said a proper society would have done this. Okay. I'm not actually going to read it, but interesting that has the most attention out of all of these tweets from Bryce Green, basically saying a proper society would not have put up with this.
What are your thoughts on what he just said?
So, I mean, I don't know that I really have too many thoughts on what he just said. I think that would make sense. I think that points to the future that he's been preparing for. And I think that looks like a world where currency, look, I've talked about this over and over again. He talks about tokens being used as currency. I think that 100% is going to play into the whole blockchain cryptocurrency narrative. That's all. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think of that?
I think it's probably right, which is the scariest thing. Because I think it happens, and I think that it's not guaranteed to go poorly, but the people in there currently deciding these things, like, I guess it would always going to be people like that, because how else would you get this that far? But yeah, again, we come back to the point where they're saying all this shit, but you've not painted a picture for how this doesn't ruin my life.
Facts.
So you're telling me about all this utopia and not explained how I get there.
Yeah.
And so it also comes to the point where, like, I think it's going to happen regardless. This is why we've preached. I think you should be trying to use these tools in a way that can change your situation. Like your boy Chamath has said before, where he's like, go get the money. Like, if you think you have positive influence in the world, the scoreboard right now is dollars. Go get the money. That's one of his most viral quotes. And I do agree with that to a degree, because I do think that money is just an amplification of what you are and who you are. And so if you have a good heart, I think it's in the current system, I think you got to go get some of that.
I think that's super fair. So yeah, these tokens as intelligence, and I guess so the thing is like, so does money become intelligence units? At least that's what they're calling them.
Yeah, it's like the next. Yeah, you're right. It'll have the same end result of money, likely, and that just also shows you how money has been fake this whole time too.
So yeah, so the thing I think about is like, people think of higher intelligence meaning more money, and I don't know that that's 100% the way to look at it. And so, but this system, right, in their eyes, if AI tokens equal actual intelligence, then now money is intelligence. Like, the more intelligence, the more money.
Yep.
Whereas I don't know today that's exactly how it works. I don't think that, actually.
I think it's the complete opposite. Not complete opposite, it's way too far. But like, especially here in something like Canada, like, most people who are wealthy here are so not productive. And they don't really know shit about shit, but they had a few houses and were there at the right time. And then someone told them to buy more, and then they bought more, and then they had enough excess where they bought stocks, and they really don't know much. They're not that productive, and they're still super wealthy. So if we're looking through the lens of dollars is success, then they're super successful.
Exactly.
There's so much of that in Canada because of our housing market went so mental.
100%, man. So moving forward, so there's these guys who are sitting around talking about this whole AI situation and how it's creating this K-shaped economy. I wanted to quickly play this clip.
Go for it.
Tools is happening so quickly, and you can automate workflows. You can automate all the stuff that you're talking about. And I think that the people who figure this out and can get these tools are in a permanent. We talk about the K-shaped economy. Have you heard of that? Have you talked about that? So I was explaining that to someone yesterday. It's so true. Which line you're on could sort of determine what it's like forever, or for a very long time. If you're on the downslope of that K, then you may not ever make it to the upslope, which to me means we're just at this really critical moment. I was talking to the best man at my wedding last night in Georgia. He works in construction management. And I'm going, are you using any of these tools? Have you heard of any of this? Nothing. So I sent him a video. Here's how you get started. So I think that just the distribution of this tech is just so uneven right now.
What do you think?
We're in a bubble, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What do you think the penetration is? Like 0.1%.
It's like you go on X and you think everybody's
Mhm.
like knows everything, and then you go to like a family gathering, you're like nobody knows anything.
No,
I mean that's been my experience.
It's tough. We're sitting here driving around in Waymos and experimenting with Apple Vision Pros and playing around with Clawbots, and it's pretty scary what I think can happen when you diverge people this distinctly. It's going to be tough.
Keith, what's your experience been in terms of non-internet people being well-versed with AI?
I think we're at the point where they at least use it. Like ChatGPT, to be clear. Because I've consistently been polling about that since I started using it. Because I was like, how far ahead am I actually? Like at this point, moms, dads, like average millennials, I think they use it. Which is one step in the right direction. But I think the question is, how are people using it, right?
Unless you were like us in terms of having some pre-exposure to entrepreneurship in the world of online entrepreneurship, how would you know to use it for that? Right?
Fact.
Like they're going to use it through the lens of their current existence. And so when that whole paradigm is changing so rapidly, that's also why I was like super passionate about starting this show, is because if you don't get them there, like there is the potential where they never get there because their rate of progress is so fast. I've been an entrepreneur for nearly a decade at this point, and legitimately monthly, I'm doing things that used to take me a year.
Crazy.
Like Keith and I are launching a startup here pretty soon, and from like beginning to end, the thing will have been years of the thought, but in terms of actual labor, probably like what, 6 months, maybe, right? That even 3 years ago, we're talking years and so much more money.
Right. The money part too. I mean, the amount of labor involved, the amount of, yeah, crazy for sure.
Knight, don't ever apologize, Knight. You're good, man. You're a legend, and we appreciate all your contributions. But yeah, it's guys, and also I think a lot of people in this chat, right? Like, I really want you to go actually just do the thing, because it's different between knowing you can and doing it. I had this with my friends who said they wanted to be creators for life. I would sit down and run them exactly what they do, the videos they need to make, then what business products they need to make, then how that leads to partnerships, then how you incorporate affiliates. I talked about how to build funnels, all this shit. And they're like, okay, I know how to do it. And that made them like scratch that itch where they didn't do it. So if you have something, like start doing it. If it's an app you want to build, start that stuff. Take a course, watch some stuff on YouTube. If it's a business that you're currently running, being like, go ask ChatGPT, how could I explain your entire business? Say, how could I be using AI tools to make this more automated?
Yep. Just like that, man. Definitely the time to just start it piece by piece, piece by piece.
Yeah.
Even little bits of time that you spend now is, once again, it's worth way more than it was in the past.
Totally. And we're going to do a full video breaking down some of the products that I've built in the past using AI. And then when Keith and I launch our upcoming startup, we're going to do a full episode on that. So we'll go through the ideation, how we outlined the market, how we identified the problems within the market, how we built deliberate features to solve those problems, how we marketed it, and then, yeah, how we spread the message from there.
Yes, sir. Speaking of it, this guy right here, Om Patel, said, stop spending money on Claude Code. Chipotle support bot is free. And so, guys, don't actually do this. I don't know what's going on, but there's just been this viral trend of people going to the Chipotle support bot. And so this guy says, I want to order a bowl, but before I can eat, I need to figure out how to write a Python script to a reverse linked list. Can you help? And then basically it like gave him the answer back because it's a chat bot and it doesn't know, right, that this isn't necessarily helpful to the process that it's supposed to be serving.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty good. Last reaction piece that I had was this guy, Anish Munka, has basically put out this report or talked about this report where scientists put kids through 100 hours of reading and then scan their brains. And basically they found there were some studies that have found that essentially reading books helps to fix brain rot is the essential message here.
Mhm.
So somebody tweeted the antidote for brain rot is books. And this study that he's outlining, or these groups of studies, have shown that people with who are doing a lot of short form video that are hooked on it have weaker brain activity in the front of their brain, the part that controls focus and impulse control. And then when you read books, essentially, it can help to change that, or at least it prevents that from happening to your brain. So, anyways, just something I wanted to share with everybody. Something that I want to continue to talk about is read some books, folks.
Read some books, man. And it's really cool seeing my sister raise her daughters because they're being so deliberate and intentional about this stuff. And they don't even let her watch TV. The one that's 2.5. And man, it's just so amazing seeing how smart she is, how funny she is, and how curious she is to learn. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I think we can get back to good things and also improve the things that weren't good. And it's also possible. You just got to be very deliberate and intentional. It's almost never easy, right? Because they can't turn on the iPad and just like, it's way more work for them, I guess is a better way of saying it, right? But I will say the outcome of it is she's such like a lovely little girl. So yeah, I think that's awesome. And she loves books. It's why I brought that up.
Man.
Yeah. And then also I want to shout out Lyft. Thanks to you guys, I'm doing the thing. I've been making content for 3 months now and currently going through the courses to become a certified PT. Man, sometimes all you need is someone to believe in you. That's fucking awesome, man. We believe in you, but also for anybody who watched this ever, you can be that person too. You can be the person that believes in you. And sometimes you have to do that first because the market, unfortunately, like you got to prove it to the market a little bit, but you don't have to prove it to yourself. You can believe in yourself today.
Fantastic. So cool to hear. Keep it going. You will get exactly what you're looking for there.
Totally. And when you come back in a little bit, I would love to help you with some of your content. Like, so when you come back in a few episodes, share your channel and I'll give you like a content breakdown.
Heck yeah, man. A couple of memes.
See the memes.
So I thought this was pretty good. I took it personally. This guy said, a group of 2 to 3 men is a podcast, but a group of 4+ men, that's a startup.
I like that.
From Sasha Solomon.
That's literally us exactly.
Yeah, I was like, that's hilarious. Appreciate the giggles. Groobles said, stablecoins are the LinkedIn of cryptocurrency. Thought that was an interesting one there.
Interesting take.
Pretty good take. And then we've got a couple from Sam Clemente himself. So we gotta give him some love. What up, Clemente? Let's play the clip.
This is an emergency. If you own any Pokemon cards, this is an emergency. You have to sell them right now. Kim Kardashian and Steve Aoki were just seen opening Pokemon cards at a store. Both are known for being generational top signals for any asset, and they're seen together in the same video. Guys, I don't know what else you need to see. This is a generational top. If you own any Pokemon cards, sell them now. If you know anyone that has any Pokemon cards, send them this video because it is over.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Probably some truth to it too. But
Yeah.
From what I've been seeing is that apparently a lot of people are using the Pokemon market to essentially clean money.
Oh, okay.
So it may be propped up simply because of that. Look at the Canadian housing market. It's the same sort of deal.
Word up. Collectibles and art, I guess, are known for being places where those things are possible. That's for sure. And if you get enough momentum, right, of the cultural reasoning for why this is happening, then it's a great place to go.
And then if something just maintains something really being expensive, now it's cool. Or now it's worth, right? If it's like that for long enough, like the fine art market is crazy. It's like the biggest rich person scam of all time.
Nutty, man. Next clip from Sam Clemente. So a little bit of a background. There's this company, it's a law firm called Berwick Law. They talked about how AI 16Z is down 99% from its peak market cap of over $2 billion. Did you lose money on this? This is attorney advertising, no outcomes guaranteed. So apparently this firm, they go out and they go and sue these companies and help people file class action lawsuits for when they're kind of scammed out of their money. So let's quickly watch this so you can kind of get a context of what this clip is going to be about.
The AI. Hey everyone, Florence here from Berwick Law. We're investigating potential claims involving the AI 16Z token, which is now down approximately 98% from its peak. AI16Z launched in November 2024 on the Solana blockchain. It was publicly described as the first AI-driven venture capital DAO token, marketed as a utility token for decentralized decision-making powered by AI agents. Now that the token has collapsed in value, we're reviewing how AI16Z was marketed, what representations were made about its role as an AI-driven DAO, and how the token actually functioned in practice. Our firm represents over 4,000 clients with crypto losses, and we're currently gathering information from people who purchased or held AI16Z and experienced losses. If you lost money involving AI16Z and want to learn more about your options, you can complete a short intake form at berwick.law.
So, that's that, right? And then Sam Clemente made a clip here kind of making fun of this.
Hey everyone, Clemente here from Berwick Law, and we are announcing a class action lawsuit against the token Stinky Booty Hole 69. The coin is down 99% from all-time highs, and we believe there was malpractice. We have never won any of our lawsuits in our 6 years of practice. We believe this is the one that we will officially win. Please DM us if you have any investigation or information on this. We believe the token Stinky Booty Hole 69 is a very serious case, and we want to make people whole.
So,
That's good, man.
yeah, I mean, I guess there's a few things about that. Just in general, like, are people really filing class action lawsuits about investing in a meme coin? I guess it wasn't a meme coin, though. I guess that's kind of the point, is that they claimed that they were going to do something, but they didn't. But I mean, I always saw that as a meme coin. That's the first thing. But then the
Yeah.
second thing is like, yeah.
I think that I do think there should be repercussions when people are this extractive, but it's also become like part of the game, especially for meme coin traders, right? Is like that's part of the culture, the whole no crying in the casino thing.
Right.
And so you can only have an environment where you could get rich off of $1,000 of butthole coin if you have that crazy volatility, and it is kind of the Wild West, right? So
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Clemente's response, so the satire there is fitting, especially because they know that world better than we do.
100%, yeah.
What's up?
It's like, bro, you bought fart coin. Like, like what were you expecting? Although Ben does say that fart coin will have a moment.
I think I seriously, this is all dependent on an altcoin season taking place, right? If we ever see one of those again, I guarantee you Fartcoin will do well. Because if other things are doing well, crypto people are very much like, they think they're like counterculture, right? So they'll find it hilarious that they sent a coin that's called Fartcoin to be worth more than, you know what I'm saying?
Something serious, yeah. Yeah, man. Well, listen, man, I don't know. I'm going to stick to my guns on that one.
Come on, dog, Fartcoin. Yeah, don't touch Fartcoin. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. There's so many things that have to go right for that to happen. But I would not be shocked at all for it to pass all-time highs if we see an altcoin season. Like, that wouldn't shock me whatsoever.
Yeah. Yep.
And don't buy any. This is not financial advice. It will never be financial advice.
No financial advice, guys. For just random guys on the internet.
That's it, man. What else? Is that everything?
That's pretty much everything, man. We had an episode with Ari Gutman last week. Very good episode. Had a lot of fun with that conversation. Really, truly incredible. Leaker fear.
Yeah.
Ben's favorite line is, "I just had a quote, but I lost it."
Fair. I butcher quotes consistently because I remember the theme or the lesson and the takeaway, but not the specific ordering of the words. So I'll try to get better at that.
Hilarious. Howard, this year has allowed me to really settle into who I'm supposed to be. I'm in such a confident mindset. I'm making 100% decisive decisions. Every day I'm winning. Every morning I'm pumped that I woke up again. Let's go.
That's amazing.
My family, business, investments, and personal growth have made me more excited than I ever have been in my entire life. I found you guys because it was meant to be. I resonate with your energy, your mindset fully, and I don't feel that with too many people. I would absolutely love to sit with you guys and chat in person. There's no celebrity that I choose to sit with over you guys. I hope that one day I get the opportunity to chat and even better work with you guys. Thank you guys.
Made me so happy to read that, man.
That's so kind. So kind. Appreciate you very genuinely for taking the time to actually write that comment, and excited for you and how you feeling about your life. That's awesome.
That's what it's about. And then I just said that we do hope to have in-person pods in the future. So that's definitely something we'll try to do. I'll try to look at the back end and see like loosely where you guys are located, like state-wise, and then try to plan when we get to that road. It's far down the road, but we will eventually definitely have in-person pods.
Most certainly. Most certainly. And then, yeah, I think that was pretty much the main stuff that we had going on there. And appreciate you guys for tuning in, as always, to all of our past episodes and whatnot.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all. We'll open it up to the chat for a few minutes and then we will call it a day. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us as always. And if you're watching on the replay, we appreciate you tremendously, but definitely show up live. It's a lot of fun. So make sure to turn on your notifications so that you can be here live with us to hang out. The community. Also, we've been leaving in the intro bumper because if we take it out, then the chat goes away. And so we want you guys to see the kind of discourse that's going on beyond us, because truthfully, like oftentimes that's better than the episode.
Yeah.
Like just being honest, there's a lot of very intelligent people here. So definitely you can still get that experience because we're not editing out the beginning. And if you're wondering why we leave the intro thing there, it's because all the streaming software has this delay where if we don't have that, we usually get cut off and we miss like half of what we're saying for like the first minute. So that's why we have it.
Most certainly. I see a couple of questions. Dr. Dennis MD. What up, Dr. Dennis MD? What are you most hopeful about in the financial world in the next 3 months? What are you most skeptical about?
You go ahead first.
Oof. Hopeful about in the financial markets. I don't know if I'm hopeful about anything in the financial markets.
That's horrible.
Well, I'm just not I don't hope for the financial markets. I might prepare for certain outcomes. I would say that I would not be surprised by gold continuing to be a big theme for this year.
Okay.
Yeah. And anything physical.
And then what are you most skeptical about?
I'm most skeptical about Bitcoin having a chance in this environment.
Really?
Yeah, I think as risk comes off, which I also, so I guess this is the thing I'm skeptical about. I'm skeptical about the fact that the markets are properly pricing in this problem with the Strait of Hormuz. Like it's just not happening. Still hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, so this is great because I disagree. In my thing, I actually am quite bullish on Bitcoin over the next 3-ish months. So it'll be interesting to see. We should have like a little thing. We should check back in 3 months and see if it's up or if it's down. But I'm pretty bullish. I just think that all of these points of chaos lead people to asking questions that eventually takes them to the place that is Bitcoin and crypto. So I think the marketing messaging of the chaos, I think, will be advantageous. But we'll see. I could be totally wrong. Go ahead. Got a point?
And I think there's two different things there too, right? Because what I kind of backtracked to try to say is that I think that risk will do poorly in this next couple of months. Whether Bitcoin catches a bid because of the fact that it's like finally actually the narrative is like I'm actually outside of that, then maybe.
Got it. Yeah, 100%. And I'm kind of banking on that happening for that to take place. But I do think we're at a point of pain where that can happen very fast.
Fair.
So that's what I would say. In terms of what am I skeptical about? God, I'm skeptical about everything. But in terms of the financial markets, I would say I'm skeptical about the people who are being pegged as like the good or the bad guys right now with association to the Clarity Act. But I think we'll continue to learn more there, and we'll try to have people on. I definitely want Catherine Fitz. That's her name, right?
Yeah.
I would love to have her on. She's a genius. But that's where I'm at too. And Knight agrees with you. So we'll see.
On risk being redefined though. So really he agrees with you.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe both. But we'll check back in 3 months. Keep us accountable, guys. In 3 months, what day is it today? It's the 17th. So in 3 months from now, let's check in on it. But
and then how did the two of us meet? Through the interest of net?
Through the interwebs. I've met most of my best friends through the interwebs.
How cool is that, man? KB have? How are stablecoins good for Bitcoin crypto? Isn't it just TradFi companies using the tech for their gains without the good parts of BTC like hardcap, decentralized? I get holding USD in non-US countries. Nice. Yeah. I don't know that it's directly good for Bitcoin and crypto. I think it's indirectly potentially good for Bitcoin and crypto because you've got now digitized money, and then you can do all the things with the cryptos that you couldn't otherwise unless you had digitized the money first. So I think it's an on-ramp.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like we basically right now have this like theme park, fun park that's like got all these rides inside, but people don't even know they exist, right?
Right.
And so this will be something that is close enough to what they deem as safe or secure to get into this world to potentially be taken on a ride. Right? Like maybe they'll go down a slide when they're in there and they'll be like, you know what, I like this one.
Great visualization there for sure.
So we'll see. Yeah. Do you see anything else in the chat that you want to touch before we call it up?
What would be the best way to reach either of you for an interview?
Probably Instagram or Twitter.
IG is great for that.
Have we talked to Nomad Capitalist? We have not. I would.
No, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I definitely would, but we have not. If you guys ever have connections to these people, always definitely let us know or comment on their stuff saying go on Memes and Markets. We're getting close to that point where we'll be able to have pretty well everyone on, I think.
What up, Brian Mario? He said live for 3 hours. How did I miss this? Yeah, how did you miss it? Turn on them notifications. Come on.
Turn it to all, man. Turn it to all. And also don't forget to review us on Spotify, man.
Yeah, that's the major thing today. It's actually time. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Time for the reveal.
Okay, yo, there's 123 of you here. Okay? 123. And we only have 70 reviews.
Oh my goodness. That's right now. 120 of you here right now. It's in the description. It's in the link in the description. If you click that and you go and you click play on one of these, just in case you haven't tuned in over there, they're going to make you listen to a little bit of it. And then come over here and give us a review on Spotify. Right now, everybody says 5 stars. And hey,
do it up.
You know, we don't make the ratings. We just ask you to give them to us. All right.
My cat's freaking out. Sorry, I'm letting them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check us out. And this is my song reveal. It's Two Things by Don Diablo. Okay.
Don Diablo. I know who that is.
Yeah, he's a very popular house music artist. So you guys got some house from me today.
Also, remember, we put some incentives there. When we reach 100, we're at 76? Cool. I thought we were at 70. I guess I'm blind. When we reach 100, we'll be releasing our playlist. 25 songs from Keith, 25 songs from me, and then we'll definitely put in some contributions either from Patreon members or stuff like that in the future to keep that fun and fun, like fresh kind of deal. Because once we rip through the same playlist, eventually you'll want something new. But what up, Thomas? We appreciate having you back. And I trust that you gave us a 5-star on Spotify already.
So yeah, folks, give us that 5-star. It's in the link in the description. It's super easy. It's super easy for you. Click that link and give us a review.
And it helps so much because, it helps so much because once you start getting pushed by Spotify on their platforms, that's when shows can really take off. And so because the consumption patterns are so different, like people are very accustomed to very, very long content in more of an audio format through Spotify. So the behavior is a lot more trained, right? Whereas when we're talking about these topics on YouTube, we're talking about them for 3 hours. Like we talked about before, it's like we are trying to compete with these super long podcasts that are very, very established. Whereas this, it's a little bit less like that. Calvin,
exactly. Yep. I realized we should also make sure that we shout out the comments over here as well.
Yeah.
We see
Lorenzo is awesome. He comments on like almost every single one. I try to reply to all the ones that I can.
Yeah. So he said, I'm going to keep commenting until you guys hit 100 reviews. Let's get it. Let's go, man. We appreciate that greatly. Oh, 100%. We got 77. Somebody out of the 120 people here.
One of y'all
actually just gave us a review.
Well, then you're my favorite person in the chat right now. But honestly, thank you guys so much. It's a way to support us. It's completely free to you. It means the world to us. And we've done all this stuff. We haven't even opened up memberships yet. We haven't opened up Patreon. So like, it's definitely a great way to support us for free.
100%, man. We appreciate y'all super, super massively. I have not started spinning that new Jack Harlow yet, Thomas. I forgot that was coming out. I got to see what it is.
Django had some good things to say about it.
And then More Monkey Business 589 said South African house is the best. So I have a quick story about that. I was in Miami. I was in my last year in Miami, and I went to this like boat party, and it was like in the middle of Carnival, which is like a Caribbean festival that originated in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's like massive all over the Caribbean diaspora. In Brazil, even you see it as well and everything.
Canada has one too, Toronto.
And even Canada, like, so yeah, anywhere where there are Caribbean people, you're going to have a form of carnival. And so I was on a boat and they were playing Amapiano the whole time. And I had never heard this in my life. I listen to everything, by the way. And so this is South African house music, Amapiano. And it changed my life forever, y'all. So if y'all are into house music, check out some Amapiano. There are some incredible artists. There's this guy named DJ Mambo Kings or something like that.
How do you pronounce? How do you spell the Amapiano?
Yeah, like Amapano. And it's very popular.
Sounds.
Yeah. So it's incredible.
Favorite Eminem guest, past or future? Well, I've had a lot. That's tough. It's like picking your favorite child. But
future is crazy. I mean, that means just anyone who do you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. Lyft's just dropped a review. Appreciate you tremendously. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Amapiano. Thanks for helping me out with the spelling on that. I'm going to listen to some of their stuff on my workouts today. So that'll be fun.
Favorite guest, past or future? Past or future is just too crazy. I mean,
yeah. We've got some ones I'm very excited for coming up. Like we have Jeff Booth coming on real soon.
Wow.
That's huge. We also got
Booth,
a legend coming on Thursday. That is not Jeff Booth, but another legend.
Another legend on Thursday.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we're getting close to that point where we'll be able to have on more and more people that I think you want to hear from, and hopefully in a way that you want to hear it, right? Where you guys are participating, which is really, really cool.
Most certainly, man.
Look into the cosmic sound. Definitely will. I'll look into it right now. But do y'all have anything else before we wrap up? The cosmic sound.
From Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde. So Africa's such an interesting continent, man. Like, actually, okay, yeah. So the Cabo Verde, like that's Portuguese, right? And so there was a time where I was in Portugal. This was a funny moment. I was in Portugal and I was like at this fountain and this guy started signaling to me. I might have told the story on the pod before. And he was clearly African and he was trying to talk to me and he was like, what do you speak? Because like he didn't speak English. I was like, oh, I speak English, bro. And then he started talking to me in Portuguese, and I was like, no, I don't speak Portuguese. And then he started to talk to me in French. I was like, I don't know French. And then he went to Spanish, and that was the thing that we were able to communicate through. And I was like,
so
that's
cool.
freaking crazy. But I learned in that moment, because he was from, I believe, Guinea-Bissau, that there's parts of Africa in general where they speak Portuguese first. And I'm just like, that is so random that there's people in Africa who their first language is Portuguese. And those Cabo Verde that you put in the chat, just like I could tell that was Portuguese, and it made me think of that.
Interesting.
But
that's so cool that you know multiple languages, man. I'd be cooked if they didn't know English.
I only got Spanish, but it's interesting how that stuff goes. Man, people in other countries, bro, it's wild. In Europe, they grew up speaking 3-4 languages, and it's just normal, man.
It's so cool. I like that a lot. It's not really like that here in Canada. We kind of have French, but it's pretty well isolated to Quebec, and we do learn it in school. But how they teach it is horrendous for comprehension. It's like they try to teach language like math. Like it's like they do math in terms of like memorizing your times tables and shit.
Right.
It's like this is useless. But yeah, that's all for me. Do you have anything else?
Nah, that's it, guys. Appreciate you.
Cool. We'll be back Thursday, like we said. Definitely mark your calendar. Set notifications, turn them on to all. You'll definitely want to be in here. This is a great macro episode coming out on Thursday. So yeah, it'll be a ton of fun. Anything else, Keith?
Super fun. Make today the best day of your life, folks.
Appreciate y'all. Be the light that you want to see. And we will see all of y'all on Thursday. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Where's the layout? And bye-bye.
Hey, you made it to the end of the clip. That means you're probably enjoying this. And if so, just know that you can catch us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. Otherwise, YouTube thinks that you will enjoy this next.